agent tender on Aaron Rodgers.
Boo.
Meaning they will receive a compensatory draft pick if Rodgers signs with a different team during the season. The tender does not prevent Rodgers from signing with another team before training camp, but once camp begins, the Steelers would have exclusive negotiating rights. Rodgers will also be eligible for a 10% raise over his 2025 salary. Let the record show that when they announced this move yesterday, it took our entire staff like a half hour to figure out what it means. So I'm not going to explain it to you. It's not that interesting. And they themselves say it's not that important. Bottom line, are the Steelers planning for Aaron Rodgers to be their quarterback this year once and for all, yes or no?
Yes. This move doesn't change any of that. In fact, the Steelers, their message remains the same. They are confident that Aaron Rodgers will play for them or retire. Those are the only two options, but they still think he will be there. The question is, when will he be there? Well, the Steelers don't quite know that yet. This move was, in their eyes, nothing more than an insurance policy. If he signs with someone else, then they get a compensatory pick, but they don't think he will sign with someone else.
Quick thought, if you have one here, Mr. Wilbon, the world knows your...
I try not to be mean
Try
this early
harder.
in the morning.
Try
He's
harder.
here at 5:30 p.m. Eastern.
Understood, yes.
No, Kimberly, that's not the question. The question is why anybody gives a damn.
Okay.
Okay?
Yeah.
Aaron Rodgers is not LeBron James. We've got a sample size now of about 5 years. He is going to the Hall of Fame. He has earned every accolade he's got. He's had a truly distinguished Hall of Fame career. It's over in terms of winning in the National Football League. The Steelers are tied, really? So they're tied to him.
Yes.
What are they doing? What is a franchise that has historically made the soundest decisions? If you point to what franchises over the last 50 years, you're going to have the Steelers and 49ers, are going to be right there. Obviously, the Patriots. The continued obsession with Aaron Rodgers is laughable in terms of winning. Is he going to be their quarterback? Who cares? Not LeBron James, not Tom Brady. It doesn't matter.
And so, Louis, let me finish it by asking you a separate question, which is they have in the building, they have Mason Rudolph, who can start and who has played. They have Will Howard, who they drafted late 2 years ago, and now they have Drew Aller, who they drafted this year. Do you believe their quarterback of 2027, meaning not this season but the following season, is in their building?
I personally don't. I think this is one of the reasons why they continue to kick this can down the road, so to speak, and why they continue to play in the Aaron Rodgers-like playground, because they know that their next best alternative really doesn't give them a chance to really compete at a level that they need to be able to compete at to be relevant in the postseason. Look, Drew Aller's a nice prospect. I have my doubts. We talked about that on the desk. Will Howard, look, no. They right now still do not have their quarterback of the future. Let's just put it that way. They don't.
I want to leave it there because there's another quarterback situation I really want to get perspective on. And we'll start by moving to the NFC West, which was last year the best division in football and figures to possibly be that again. DraftKings says it's the only division in which 3 teams have a chance to win shorter than 3-1. Again, that's to win the division. Rams are the slight favorite now, but despite that, and despite how close they are on the edge there, they used that 13th pick overall to pick Ty Simpson, who, if all goes well, will not see the field at all in the 2026 season. And so, Mr. Wilbon, for those who don't watch PTI in the evenings, I'd be fascinated to hear your perspective. As one who has covered the NFL forever, you've got a team that is this close to winning a championship and had this really valuable asset at number 13 in this draft and chose to use it on something that, if everything goes perfectly, will not start mattering for at least a year down the road.
Yeah.
What did you think of it?
I'm torn. I mean, I sit here and listen to you guys every day since the draft, and I'm nodding my head going, yeah, I'm with Greeny on this. Wait, no, I'm with Lewis on this, or whatever the points are, go to your opposite corners. I get what, first of all, the job of the general manager and the job of the coaches is why they should never be the same. They're often at cross purposes. The general manager's job, so Mr. Snead's job, is to look at the overall health and wealth of that team. The coach's job is to win today, period. I lived this with Joe Gibbs and Bobby Beathard with the Washington Redskins when Hall of Famers both, when the owner, Jack Kent Cooke, would have to call them in the room and sort of settle the tie and say, oh, wait a minute here, I've got to do this. So this is a natural thing, Greeny, this push and pull. Who's going to get it right? If the Rams are able to win the Super Bowl now, then they're without an additional player, without a frontline player being drafted at 13, then Snead's going to have been right. But we got to let the seed play out. But this is a conundrum. This is who Damian Woody said is threading a needle.
Yeah.
Perfectly stated.
Yeah, look, the thing that kept the Rams out of the Super Bowl last year wasn't the fact that they needed another wide receiver. They needed to score more points. They needed to stop someone. Their secondary, their corners were a liability. They addressed that in free agency. I mean, Trent McDuffie is, in essence, a first-round pick for them. Jalen Watson, who they took from the Chiefs as well. These two guys are going to be the people that make the difference for this football team this coming year. And you're right. Look, what Les is trying to do is do exactly what general managers of the past who are very, very wise as far as building football teams have said for years, which is the best time to get your franchise quarterback is when you don't need him. And see, Matthew Stafford, remember last year, it wasn't that long ago that we were sitting here talking about the fact that we didn't even know if 2025 was going to be a year he was going to play.
All summer.
Exactly.
Right up to camp.
Sean McVay just talked about the fact that they know that Matthew is year to year. They know that. The last thing they want to wind up having happen is Matthew going, you know what, I'm done. And then they have to go looking for a quarterback.
Now you're the Steelers. Now you're right. Now you're waiting for Aaron Rodgers.
Right.
And I can tell you, they've been looking at Ty Simpson since before the college season even started. So they both have been in on him. They didn't want to be mic'd up in round one because they didn't want it leaking out that they were interested in him. I just wonder if Matt Stafford, why we have to worry about how it's viewed. He's not going to be, he may be the heir apparent, but he's not playing this year. The hope is that he doesn't play this year. So I think, I get it. You got to build for the future. You just hope that there aren't other needs that needed to be addressed.
Well, we can talk another time, but you and I both remember when John Elway was enraged when they drafted his heir apparent, and we know Brett Favre didn't love it when they drafted Rodgers, and Rodgers didn't love it when they drafted Jordan Love. History says the aging legend quarterback does not like it.
No, they don't.
When you use
rarely use unrestricted free agent tender on Aaron Rodgers before Monday's post-draft deadline. The UFA tender preserves the Steelers' right to get a compensatory draft pick if Rodgers signs with another team, while also limiting his ability to sign with another team once training camp begins. Our NFL analyst Louis Riddick joins us right now to break it all down. And Louis, the Steelers say they're confident that Aaron Rodgers will sign with them and that this is just procedural, what they're doing right now. But Louis, how should the Steelers handle this situation with Aaron Rodgers moving forward?
Yeah, quite honestly, look, when you kind of hitch your wagons to Aaron, these are the kind of things you have to do in order to, one, kind of incentivize him to return to the Steelers if he, in fact, is going to come back for another season. And number two, to try and protect yourself, considering the fact that you are right now really kind of caught in limbo as far as how you're handling the quarterback situation. Obviously, you're letting him know that he is their best option when it comes to getting quality quarterback play. And that's not to be, that's not to be dismissive of Will Howard or Drew Aller, who they drafted out of Penn State in the third round this year. But I think they know to give themselves the best chance to win, it's going to be with Aaron, even at this point in his career. And they're just trying to protect themselves and get something in return, just in case he decides to go ahead and jump ship, and they don't want to be left holding the bag, so to speak, and not have anything to show for it.
Yeah, it does feel like a sort of an insurance policy for the Steelers.
Yep.
The Steelers are set to have their first voluntary OTA session on May 18th. Now, Louis, you were in Pittsburgh last week covering the draft. Let's run through some superlatives from that weekend, starting with your favorite pick from the draft.
Yeah, it has to be Bud Clark, the do-it-all safety from TCU, who was drafted by Seattle. And one of the reasons why he's my favorite, this guy had 15 career interceptions as a free safety at TCU. And it's not just the fact that he plays free safety. He can play down in the box. He can play the strong safety position. He can play the nickel. He can play the dime. And he's going to fit in perfectly with what Mike McDonald has built out there in Seattle and the way in which they play in the secondary, that real aggressive, multiple type of look that they like to throw at you. And Bud Clark is one of the very, very best. The biggest steal for me easily is Kyle Lewis going in the fourth round to the Miami Dolphins. Look, I thought Kyle should have garnered some late first round consideration, definitely in the second. I think he is a Derek Brooks clone. Can't wait to see how he does. Immediate impact, it has to be Jeremiah Love, simply because running backs, it's such an instinctive position that really is predicated upon your natural ability to, one, be able to figure out where running lanes are. Number two, let your natural athletic ability take over in terms of your height and your weight and your speed. And I think he, as long as the offensive line in Arizona performs up to par, he's going to immediately infuse that offense with a lot of juice, infuse that fan base with a lot of juice. And I think that's one of the reasons why they drafted him so high, is because he is such a big playmaker at any point in time in a game. Arizona fans are going to reap the benefits of that.
Yeah, the Cardinals averaged 93 rushing yards per game last season, second fewest in the NFL. That should go up with Jeremiah Love out there on the field. Louis Riddick with the latest. Thanks so much, Louis.
You bet.